breakfast that you purchased. Thank you so much. Supposed to have been my birthday gift. They in there. That don't make no sense, boy. They got pancake, everything all over there. And I'm like, this is my birthday gift, ain't it? So if y'all can join us, Lord, elegant, grown kids. Psalms 137. By the rivers of Babylon, there we sat down and wept. We remembered Zion, so we hung our harps upon the willows in the midst of it. For there are those who carried us away captive, asked us for a song, and thus who plundered us requested, saying, sing us one of those songs and entertain us. How shall we sing when we're in a strange land? But if I forget you, O Jerusalem, let my right hand forget its skill. If I don't remember you, let my tongue cling to my mouth. Last verse, but I'm going to get my song back if I do not exalt Jerusalem above my chief joy. I just want to preach on the subject, one last cry. You may be seated in the presence of the Lord. One last cry. Last week we discovered, hopefully we were unpacking this myth, heretical teaching that suggests that blacks are cursed because of Ham. We understood there's a distinctive between a descriptive message and a prescriptive message. And we understood that no, we're not cursed. Quite the opposite, we're blessed. We're blessed because Abraham was not Jewish when God put the covenant on him. He was Abram. And because he is the progenitor of our faith, we connect to him. And because of him, he says that I will make your name great. I like the covenant because the covenant is antithetical to the Tower of Babel, where the people of Babel were trying to make a name for themselves. And here, now God is saying, I will do it for you. I will do it for you. I will do it for you. And I just have to pause right there and just give God some gratitude for all the doors he has opened for you and me. When you look back over your life, can't you see the hand of God? Especially when people said God would not move. I know you've gotten used, and some of us have gotten spoiled where we become accustomed to God's favor. But I'm still excited whenever God chooses to bless me in spite of me. And I particularly love it when he blesses me in spite of me and in spite of other people's opinions. Is there anybody can testify with me? You are here even though folk didn't think you would make it. But thanks be to God that when he wants to bless you, he don't have to take a vote on people around you. He blesses who he wants to bless. He raises up who he wants to raise up. He puts favor on one, he puts favor on. And that's how come, Alpha, we always have to be careful who we laugh at. Because the person you laugh at this year might be the person God flips the script and makes your boss next year. So we're thankful. We're thankful that God, he says, I'm going to bless you to the point where I'm going to make you a blessing. You're going to be what you've been praying for. And I'm going to bless you so much that whoever come against you, I'm going to curse them. That's why we don't have to be retaliating so much. I was talking the other day to some people on my political hat, and I said, y'all spending too much time on Russia, and you better spend more time on getting people's lives better, or you're going to give him another 4 years. Let God handle that. Let Mueller handle that. You worry about making people's lives better. And so because we ought to be that way, we live so much trying to get back at people. I ain't got time to get back. Life's too short. I'm grown now. I'm 47. Talk to me here. I ain't got time spend another 40 years trying to get somebody back because they didn't take me fishing. The devil is a lie. Buy your own pole. Get your own boat. Get your own bait. Get your own fish. And if you don't know how to fish, go down to ShopRite and get you some tilapia and call it a day. We got to stop all this getting people back stuff. Hey, vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. And if we're going to be Christian, well, let's go on and be Christian then. And so we got to understand, I ain't got to worry about all that because I'm a blessing. But he does not bless me to be restricted to me. He blesses me so that we can be a blessing to someone else. He didn't bring me this far for me to become stingy and restricted. He didn't bless you, Alpha. Bless us, Alpha, for us to be exclusive. He blessed us so that whomever calls on the name of the Lord. We just learned in my class this week that we serve a God that wants to bless everybody. He first started off with a Jew only, but then he said, but let's let this thing spread to all the parts of the earth. And so we learned, just touch yourself, say, I'm blessed, I'm blessed. I know, tell yourself, I'm blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed. But here's where I'm going today. Here's where I'm going. I got to go to my phone because I don't know what happened to my iPad. I don't know. Oh, Lord, I'm getting old now. Oh. Brother Abrams, I'm sorry, you're going to have to help me with this now. I can't see my glasses. I'm touching wrong buttons. Here they are. Here. One last cry. One last cry before I leave it all behind. One last cry. Oh, don't act like y'all don't know who that is. Y'all sitting there like. That's the theologian Brian McKnight. Some of y'all played that too. As y'all was cussing. I ain't never get my heart broke. That one last cry. Here's the reality of it. Sometimes I think we're forced as a people to move on without lamenting. And I think we've been conditioned to just troop without being human and letting some tears flow. Because everything about our context, they teach us to just move on. So what, you were slaves, just move on. So what that we separated you where you couldn't even drink from the water fountain, just. So what, we didn't even think you were human, didn't let you vote, separated you from schools, just. So what, we done went from Jim Crow to now a prison system that we lock in everything you birth up, just. So what that we'll pull you over for a $3 ticket but beat you up like you stole something, just. But the devil is a lie. You can't just move on all the time. And then we grow up in houses where they taught us as men, don't you cry. How you gonna punch me in the chest and then tell me you better not cry? And many of us can't move on to where God wants to take us until we look at our lives and have one last cry. Because when you have a cry, you're able to get out the pain that's trapped in your subconscious. And when you're able to release the hurts, the difficulties, the challenges that we face, then we're able to move on. You see, I think sometimes, did you pull it up, honey? Come on, baby, bring me my big one up. Now I'm good. Now I'm rolling. Now I can see. Thank you, Tim. See, the problem is, even in our church, we're taught. Yep, here it is now. Y'all in trouble now. We are taught, just praise your way through. Come on, y'all. I wouldn't be real today. This is my birthday. I ain't got no time to lie now. One of my white professors about 3 years ago, went to a funeral, and after the funeral, he came to me and he said, Chad, explain this to me. I said, yes. The mother lost her children. I said, yes. And y'all told her it's going to be all right. I said, yeah. How? And I thought, I reflected. It made me pause. I said, you know what? We say some dumb things when people lose people. When sometimes you got to sit down and cry. Okay, y'all know, I know y'all want me to tell y'all gonna be rich today. I know. No, you don't need a check. You need to mourn over some stuff that didn't go right in your life and stop trying to move on. And the reason why you're so bitter when God is blessing somebody else is because you didn't get over what happened to you yet. And sometimes you got to put a quarter in the meter and say, Lord, I'm hurting, and I didn't think this was going to go this way. I didn't like the way they dogged me. I didn't like what I lost, and I just want to sit right here and quote my friend Brian McKnight, one more cry. Okay, Pastor, that you talking about McKnight, but they need to have some theological connection. I'm glad you asked. Psalms 137 is a lamenting psalm. It's a psalm that was written because the nation was in exile, and they wanted to get out the tears and the pain and the frustration that they were feeling. It's here now where lament psalms are written, and watch this, y'all, are still a part of worship. This was a communal lament. And we always think praise and worship is about shouting and dancing. And don't get it twisted. I love to shout and dance. But sometimes worship is reflecting. And then crying. Can I get some real folk with me today? You made it over. You got blessed. But didn't it cost you something that you still got to deal with? Are you with me here? And so this psalm is it's lamenting. And here's the problem. They were snatched from Israel, from their place of comfort, their place of worship. They were snatched from their identity. They were snatched from the temple. And now they're in a strange land in Babylon. Woo! I wonder, has life ever made you feel like you were in a strange land? I know. You've been living in the same address. I know you've been driving the car. Pastor, what you talking about? You can live in the same house, but still have to deal with new normals. Huh? I've never in my life, since I've been married, had an empty house. Never. Now we wake up, I got to buy me some friends. I never realized how unpopular me and my wife was. I thought we was hot stuff, but I just realized all the people that was over my house was my kids' friends. But what I'm saying is life is filled with new normals. And what you have to reconcile is how do you serve God when you're living in a strange situation? no, I know how to serve God when everything's right. Deacon Furlow, I know how to serve God when my I's are dotted, my T's are crossed. I know how to serve God when it's payday. I know how to serve God when I'm healthy. I know how to serve God when my kids are acting half right. But the question that we ask ourselves today is, how do you sing in a strange land? Woo! First thing you got to understand is you got to learn how to lament and live at the same time. You have to learn how to live on one side and still cry at the same time. He says, by the rivers of Babylon we sat down. This sat down means that the grief got so bad we couldn't keep walking. I wonder, has you ever been in that type of situation where the situation was so bad it started messing with your physicality? I wonder, have you ever been accosted by that type of trial when you went to the doctor and the doctor didn't give you the report you thought you should have got, and your life was forever ripped upside down? That's why we got to pray for Sister Elmira. Have you ever lost both your children? You had to bury one last year and swing back around and bury another. Have you ever had to bury, are y'all not with me here? Can help me, Crawford, your sister, and then come back around and bury your daddy? It's hard living Deacon Grooms in a strange land. And we got to stop developing a spiritual Christianity that teaches me how to live when I'm prosperous, but that ain't black folk religion. Black folk religion is nobody knows the trouble I see, but I still got to worship from out of my sorrow. It says he sat down and they wept. And what they wept because, can I preach a little bit? Because they remembered how good it used to be. Can I push a little bit? I cry every now and then because I remember how good I had it, but didn't know how good I had it. I cry about the now because I didn't know how good I had it before I had it. Is there anybody here complain about living with your mom and dad? I can't wait till I get on my own. Now ask me that now. I want to go back to when I didn't have to pay nothing, and my only job was to clean the kitchen. Come on, help me preach here. Take out the trash, and I had the nerve to complain, and we had a dishwasher. What they're reflecting on is we had it good, but didn't know how good we had it. And because we didn't know how good we had it, Alpha, God had to jack us up because we got spoiled. That's what the text is saying. Be careful when you don't appreciate what you got. We always think the grass is greener on the other side. But I'm gonna count my another singer, Brother Porter. It ain't nothing but brown grass. They got so bad, they hung their harps on the tree because they said, watch this, this is not the time to be celebrating. This is the time to be mourning. This ain't the time to be shouting. No. There's a time when you got to reflect and you got to say, Lord, this hurts. There's some, y'all, come on, y'all. See, you know why we can't get spiritual traction? We're so busy trying to be Superman and Superwoman. The devil is a liar. When you live long enough, people gonna hurt you. Come on, y'all. Family gonna act funny. Come on here. And guess what? You're going to get to the point where you don't even know yourself sometimes. Is there anybody here that wakes up sometime you feel like a nut and sometime you don't? Y'all sitting here act like you wake up, as soon as you wake up the pipe organ start playing. The devil is a lie. Sometimes you wake up want to push snooze 22 times. Come on, help me here. And we need to find whoever made the snooze button because they hurting us. Put the harps up. They had to lament. And they had to, y'all, listen. If you hurt, let it go. Cry. Stop making folk make you get over stuff because they think you've heard it too long. Can I push back? Can I push? You can't judge anybody until you walked in their shoes. And since you haven't walked in their shoes, don't you tell them when they need to get over it. Don't you tell them how they need to get over it. You just be there with them and say, I'm going to trust God with you. Because pain hurt, losing people hurt, life hurts, but thanks be to God. Got to learn to lament. The key of the trickle-down effect of slavery, as I push back to my white brothers and sisters, quit telling us to get over it. Why don't you cry with us because it happened? Quit telling me to get over when I got to tell my son, don't you talk back. You just keep your hands on the wheel. But you can tell your son that you can have a dialogue. I'm already dehumanizing my own son because of a system that's been put in place. But the devil is a liar. Because if you had to go through what we had to go through to be where we are, you know there's a God somewhere. Here's what it's like. Can I push? It's like ripping up a flower where all of its nutrients are, ripping it up and putting it into a whole new place. And those of you who know gardening know that that flower will never be the same because it was accustomed to the nutrients that was on. Are you with me here? And some of us feel like, have you ever felt like this? And if it's me, I'll move to the second point, that sometimes life has a way to rip you up and put you in a predicament that you didn't even intend to be in. But here go, mama. Even though I'm lamenting, I got limits. Even though I'm lamenting, there's some stuff I'm not going to let you do to me. Oh, I feel like preaching now. Because people like to know where you're hurt so that they can take advantage of your vulnerability. Look at your neighbor and say, I'm crying, but I ain't stupid. Because some people think just because you're vulnerable, you'll do anything. No. Don't let my tears fool you. Pastor, stop with your opinion. Give me some Bible. Okay. For those who carried us away captive, ask us to sing so that they could laugh at us. They wanted the people of Israel to entertain us. Sing. And this is what they said. Whoa. How can we sing when we're living in a strange land? Whoa. You trying to use my pain for your amusement. I better stop going to these classes. See, people like to put you in a category. And as long as you stay in the category, that they think you should be in, they find with you. Notice, Brother Abraham says, no matter how much they didn't think blacks were human, they didn't mind us dancing and singing for them. Go on and cut the jig. That's why. Okay, let me push it. Let me give you more now-ness. When the governor of Virginia gets jammed with wearing blackface, guess what it says? I didn't do it then, but I did do it when I was dressing up like Michael Jackson. Oh, as if it's all right to wear blackface as long as you're dealing with music. Okay, y'all still looking at me funny. When they found out the attorney general had the same situation, he said, no, I was just trying to be Kumo D. No. You think it's funny? You think my pain? Okay, I don't even got to go that far. There are people in church that instead of praying, when you hear somebody hurting, their pain makes you have joy. Y'all quiet now. I ain't getting no birthday gifts. It's okay. I'm big enough. I don't need another Wawa sandwich. Because as long as you in the box that I placed you in, and you're vulnerable, just entertain me. But the devil is a lie. I ain't no dancing monkey. I'm not here to entertain you. You're not here to entertain somebody. You're here because God has a plan for your life. You're here because God woke you up this morning, had you on their mind, and I'd be darned if I'm not going to be whom God has called me to be, because you ain't comfortable with the greatness inside of me. Look at your neighbor and say, I'm going to be what God called me to be. Tell them I'm going to be all that God's called me to be. I'm not dumbing down to make you feel good. I'm not, listen, if you don't like what I got on, you going to hate what I wear next week, because God, woo, ain't through with us yet. And sometimes in those meetings, y'all, when they taking credit for your work, you're going to have to stand up. You're going to say, wait now. This the 10th time you done told them this was your work. This is my work. Because when you done put some, okay, here you go. You know how in classes they break you up into groups? You know they break in groups. And there's always somebody in the group that want to freeload off everybody else in the group. Y'all, come on, where my college students at? Y'all know what I'm talking about. See, I'm not the type of person where you going to get my accolade. So when the professor say, that was a good group, I say, wait a minute, professor. With all due respect, me, him, and him did a wonderful job. I don't know what in the world. Now, I'm not telling you how to grade. I'm just giving you the proper information. All I'm saying is it comes a time where you got to put in the work and not let somebody else jump in on your stuff. Do your work, I do my work, and we'll bless God together. So my lamenting has gotten limits. But my lamenting will cause me to look back. That's what it's going to call. Okay, here it is. It says, how should we sing the Lord's song in a foreign land? If I forget you all, but if I forget you, Jerusalem, let my right hand forget its skill. If I do not remember, that word remember. He's saying now that to remember is associated with action. that when I look back to Jerusalem, it's not so much that I remember Jerusalem, but it's more so that I remember the spiritual life I had in Jerusalem. Yeah, okay, yeah. See, in our English, we have a problem because we put a line of demarcation between what we say and what we do. So it's all right for us in a postmodern secular society to know that most of the stuff people say, they're not going to do it. We know right now. Okay. When your kids say, I'm going to wash the dishes, you call them, did you do dishes yet? No, I ain't doing it yet. Because you know that there's a difference between what they say and what they do. Mm-hmm. You know there's a difference between what you say and what you do. My wife said, before you come home, make sure you take the trash. I said, baby, before you get home, I promise you, all the trash going to be out. Now, ain't nobody tell her to come home early. The rules is, if you come home at 5, we start cleaning at 4:30. Come on. That's in the man handbook. Am I right, man? That's in the man handbook. But we have developed a culture where we have an expectation to whatever people say they not might necessarily do. That's why we make people sign 32 contracts. Because it was a time where your word was your bond. And deals were done on a handshake. In Hebrew culture, what you say is directly tied in what you do, or you don't say it. Their author is connected to their practice. Okay. So when they say remember, this is not just an intellectual exercise of futility. What they're saying is that when I remember Jerusalem, I remember how we lived in the temple. And when I remember how we lived in the temple, I remember how we worship one God, Yahweh. And I remember how we were his people and he was our God. And so what they're saying is, oh, I feel good now, that I might be living in a strange circumstance, but I'm remembering my relationship with God. And I might not quite understand what is happening in my life, but I do understand that God is still the God of my life. Is there anybody here that's ever been in the midst of that particular circumstance where you might didn't understand the totality of what God was doing for you, but you understood that God is still going to be your God because you remember the faithfulness of God and you remember the graciousness of God and you remember when you look back over, Lisa, your life, you've seen the hand of God. Look at your neighbor, say neighbor. No, tell them, say neighbor. When you look back over your life, you can see God been with you a long time. Is there anybody here besides me that got a testimony that God has been on my side? If God, yes sir, been on your side, I dare you open up your mouth and say thank you. My life might be strange, but I still got a Savior for my life. I'm done. But this last piece is where I get my joy. It's not that I'm not going to sing. It's just I'm not going to sing for you. It's not that, oh yes, I'm not going to worship It's just I'm not going to worship you. It's not that I'm not going to praise him, but I'm just not going to praise you. I feel good right now. See, you got to understand that you can't let people get what only belongs to God. It's right here. In case you look, he says, but I will. Yes, sir. He said, watch what it says. He says, but I will exalt. Yes, sir. That word exalt means to worship. That word exalt means to praise him. And in the Jewish context, you couldn't exalt God unless you sang. And so what the author is suggesting is that I am not going to sing for you, but I'm still going to sing for God. Look at your neighbor. Say, neighbor, do you got a song to sing? Because everybody ought to have a song to sing. Because every now and then, you ought to look back over your life and say everything you touch is a song. You touched, can I preach like I feel it? You touched my life one day and turned it into a song. Sometimes the song I sing is I feel like going on. Sometimes the song I sing is though storms, clouds may rise, but I feel, is there anybody here that feels like going on? Sometimes the song I sing is Amazing Grace. How sweet the sound that saved a wretch. I know you're not a wretch, but I'm a wretch. A wretch like me. Look at your neighbor, say, neighbor, I once was lost. Go and tell your neighbor, I once was lost, but now I'm found. I was blind, yes, but now I see. Amazing Grace. That's the song I sing. Do me a favor. Look at your neighbor. Look him dead in the eyeball. Find you a neighbor. Say, neighbor, don't lose your song, because all you might have is your praise. Look at your other neighbor. Say, neighbor, neighbor, don't lose your song. No matter how much they dog you, don't lose your praise. Now, if you still got your song, say yes, say yes, say yes, say yes. Won't it do it? Now give God a praise, because you got your song.